time, I know who I am. And I refuse. Watch this. I'm getting ready to help at least 6 of y'all if y'all will receive it. Turn to somebody and shout, I refuse to not walk as who I am because you ain't seen it yet. Who I am can't be denied. Jesus says, don't you understand? The Son of Man has been given power on earth to forgive sins. You don't know me yet as the Son of Man, but I'm going to let my work speak for me. Turn to somebody and say, you don't know me yet for who I am, but I'm going to let my work speak for me. By the time I am done functioning, you won't be able to deny me the title. Let me help you. Let me help. See, some of us want the title before we functioned. Because we think the title is going to validate our functioning. But if I function long enough, you won't deny me the title. Watch this. I'm not trying to be funny, and I don't advocate anybody call me anything. I don't necessarily. Watch this. But I'll never forget, there's a pastor that I went to preach for, and the man, every time I go preach, he stands up and he says, this is Prophet Darrell McClare. Ain't nobody never. I ain't trying to be funny. I've never been publicly affirmed as a prophet. The closest I came was my late pastor stood me up in our old little church that was sat over there. He stood me up in the little church, and he said in front of the church at the time, it was on a Friday night, about a handful of us in the room. He stood up and he said, Darrell, the Lord said you a prophet, but you're not just a prophet, you are my prophet. That was the closest I ever came to public affirmation of the prophetic on my life. Watch this. It didn't stop me from prophesying. The fact that I kept prophesying and the accuracy through which God spoke affirmed for others. Because I didn't need a title to function. I kept functioning and somebody else released a title. Jesus says, the Son of Man, a title that no one had given him yet. Only he called himself that. Though he was, nobody else in the earth had identified that yet. But it didn't stop him from functioning. Watch this. We go further, and he says the Son of Man been given power to forgive sins on the earth. And he says, so now, since y'all had an issue with, forgiving sins, now I say get up. Since my last formula was an issue for you, arise, sir. Take up your bed. Watch this. The Bible says, and immediately he arose. He took up his bed and went forth before all of them, insomuch that they were all amazed, glorifying God, saying, we have never seen it on this fashion. It's interesting because I wanted to kind of preach this from another text, because the word of the Lord in a different place says when he saw their faith. And it was interesting to me because many times we wrestle with the placement of faith. Can I get 5 of y'all to be honest with your placement? Sometimes you wrestle with the placement of faith. Let me help you. You wrestle with, where do I put it? So much so that I don't even talk to people about what I'm going through because I don't want to put my faith in them. So we justify not talking to people by saying, I'm going to just talk to the Lord about it because I don't want to put my faith in them. But I want to talk to you for a season, for just a moment, because there are seasons in our lives where you do have to put your faith in somebody. Chris said, because remember, sometimes I'm on the mat. And when I'm on the mat, yes, I'm trusting that God ain't going to let you drop me. But I've also got to have some confidence in the one carrying the mat. I need to help those of us who sit in fellowship with one another disconnected from each other. We sit amongst one another, not trusting each other. See, that's why the Lord let y'all spend 30 minutes shouting on the front end.